What is going on, people? For this episode, there's an article that I came across on Polygon, and in case you don't know what Polygon is, it's basically like gaming news. So it lets you know like what's going on with the gaming industry. So there's an article that I came across, which I think it's pretty amazing. So if you have not heard of a user named Faraz Khan, he's a Twitch user. He streams to Twitch, and and from what I've read, it appears that he's actually beaten a game called Dark Souls 3 without taking any hits, whole game with no hits. So he had a few restrictions. I mean, if you wanna watch the footage, it's in the link below. So the restrictions that he made while playing the game was he did not use any magic. He used no arrows. He used all the melee attacks. All right, he pretty much does melee attacks. And when there's a boss coming up, I mean, when he's fighting, he uses like a melee attack, and runs up close to the boss and attacks. So that's very impressive. I mean, I've personally never played Dark Souls 3, so I mean, I'd probably be a newbie if I started playing it, but I'm going to assume by default you get it off of Steam. So, here's something you can imagine. Imagine playing if you're a Doom player, for example. Imagine going through like the Okuplock level, which, in case you don't know what that is, it's a big gigantic slaughter level. It's inspired by level 5 from Holy Hell. It's slightly more enemies. Imagine going through that level with no tool assisted speed runs and no weapons. I mean, imagine that. Imagine killing every enemy using only your fist. That'd be very insane. Um, so yeah, no. All that person did was he did melee attacks. um, Also, what he did was he avoided using a shield. So no shield. So what he's done is that he just walks past enemies, or he'll use like a skull to keep the enemies distracted. So that way he'll avoid the damage. Which, I mean, obviously that's how he was able to get through the game without getting hit, is avoiding damage from enemies. His dodging skills are excellent. Which, I mean, that's pretty insane. um, So, and another thing that he does is that like when things get hard, you know what he does? He bails out on boss fights. Like when I was just gonna say when things get rough, he bails out on boss fights. I guess one thing I like to say about that is, I mean, if you're a player who could like be able to get through an entire game without taking any hits, all right, whether it's Mega Man or Zelda or Mario or whatever, you get through the whole game without taking any hits, with using only jump, well, minus the final boss. Like, if you're doing like Super Mario World, for example, right? And you try to, well, minus the last boss, I mean, you're going to have to use projectiles to hit Bowser on the head, like toys that he throws up. But everything else, though, like, imagine you using only jumping, no fireballs, no capes, just jumping. All right, you do that throughout the game, minus the final boss. I mean, if you're a person who can do that stuff, I mean, you're incredible. I mean, that's like winning a race and you get like a trophy. Um, So it's really amazing. I mean, I don't think many people can go do stuff like that, honestly. I mean, going through a game without getting hit. I mean, like I said before, I may not have played Dark Souls 3 before, but I mean, I've actually heard it's a pretty difficult game. Um, I mean, it reminds me of I'm not sure what it reminds me of. I think it reminds me of like Castlevania or something. Where I've heard that's all like Castlevania on a Nintendo. I've heard it's one of the difficult games because when you get hits, I mean, it's not just you lose health, but also you fly back, and if you have a pit behind you, it's like game over. It's like you lose a life. So, anyways, I got nothing much to say. And as for you, Faraz Khan, you deserve a trophy. Congratulations on getting through Dark Souls 3 without taking a single hit. That's like getting a perfect. That's like a flawless victory on Mortal Kombat. That's what's equivalent to flawless victory, and you get a bonus for it. I mean, I've played Mortal Kombat before, and well, I mean, I've won sometimes, and sometimes I lost. So, but I mean, getting a flawless victory, that's like insanely impressive. So, I mean, you might as well just be on television, going through a video game without taking a single hit. I mean, it's amazing. So, anyways, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to leave a comment, or if there's any thought that you want to leave on this video, I mean, be sure you do so in the comments section. And if you want to see more of my activities, be sure you subscribe. If you want to read more about it, it's which I guess that's all the bullets that they pointed out. The if you read the article, I mean, the article is not that long. It's only a couple days old. I suggest you check it out. It's very interesting. I mean, not everybody finds it interesting, but anyways, I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.